Banggood have kindly sent me the E33 Vanguard drone. I always get a bit worried when people put something like the new drone on a box, because in 6 months' time or a year's time it's not going to be the new drone anymore, but it's like putting new and improved. It can't be both. Anyway, it's really smart looking. Obviously it totally looks like a miniature version of the H501 from Hubsan. Very smart looking little drone. We'll get into it in a minute, but I just wanted to run around the box, and everything comes fully assembled, ready to fly in the box, but there are some additions you can put on, and I'll run through those with you. The graphics are right the way around the side, which is rather nice, and then you've got the sort of full shot on the back there. You've got the different flavours here, and basically you've got sort of two with cameras, and then you can have two options of the cameras. I've got the Wi-Fi version with the 0.3 camera, but you can get it with a 2 megapixel, and you can just have a standard one with no camera on it at all. So I'm going to fly it in loads of different guises, I hope, and show you all the different functions it's got. And talking of functions, it runs through in a great big thing here of all the different things like headless mode, 6-axis gyro, HD camera, wireless transmission, etc. And it does FUP stunts. I really don't want to say that again, but I will. It does FUP stunts. So it'd be very interested to see how a FUP stunt works. I'm glad I got the right teeth in. So that's everything you get out of the box, and it's a heck of a lot of stuff, and it gives you lots of options of what you can do with this. I'm going to start with the quad first of all. I just think it's so sort of cute looking, because it's just identical looking on the bodywork to my Hubsan H501, and I think with the massive sort of looking props on here, it just looks totally different to me. Really nice. The actual bodywork on it is really good. I think you can have a job actually breaking anything, but all these things are possible to break, obviously. It's quite a little bit of flex in the plastic, but the way this is moulded here, I think it's got a heck of a strength there. Really nice. The props themselves are really flexible, as you can see, and you get the white ones at the front, black ones at the back, so you can identify it, you know, quite easily actually. The also having the gold and the silver at the front as well helps a little bit. The flipping it over, you've got these motor sort of covers, and also they are where the LEDs are as well, and there's no way any dirt or dust can actually get sucked up through the motors there, which is really good, because that can cause all sorts of problems. They're geared motors, so any tiny little bit of dust, a speck of dust in there, can really chew up the gears quite badly, so that's quite nice. These also sort of double up as low landing gear, and you've got more than enough room even when you've put the camera on, and it's a 0.3 megapixel camera I've got with this one. Simply clips into position, put the connector into there, and you're ready to go. And the nice thing about this one is you can actually angle it down if you want. You've got a little bit of movement there. You'd have to set it before you took off, but I think it's quite nice if you just want to be angled down a wee bit. When I said about these can be the low landing gear, you've also got extended landing gear, which simply pop in there, and you get a screw to pop into there as well. I really don't think you need them. It makes it look a bit more insect-like, I suppose, but I'm not really seeing a huge benefit where the motors are totally covered, unless you're in long grass, but this will be so easy to hand launch and catch, it really wouldn't be a problem. If you're new to flying, it comes with prop guards, and they just simply pop on, and then you've just used a little screw that they give you to hold it into position, and they would work really well. They're going to be very efficient as well. Or if you're flying indoors and perhaps not that confident, and you certainly don't want to get told off by anyone else in the house, that would be the thing to do. The batteries are really sort of standard battery, and there's loads of them. I'll put a link down in description. You can buy 5 very cheaply, and they're 380 milliamp hour, and it's a single cell. And to charge the battery, you just get a USB adapter into the connector, and then you can charge away. You get a spare set of 4 props. You get 4 spare prop cones. I don't know why really they're on there, to be honest. You don't really need them. They could just come off, and if you lose them, they don't really cause any problems. They're not going to affect your flight or anything. You've got the transmitter itself, and that takes 4 AA batteries, and you don't get those supplied, so you will need them. And everything is held on. The battery bay on here and the battery bay on the quad itself is held on with a little screw, and it clicks into position. And they give you a little small Phillips screwdriver as well. My one's got the Wi-Fi, and like I say, it comes in various different ways, and the Wi-Fi one you get to have a phone holder as well, so it just clicks into position. With the weight of the batteries on the transmitter. It actually feels quite nice. It's a sort of gaming transmitter, more geared for thumbers, I would say, than pinchers, but it's really nice. You get 2 user manuals with this one. Because I've got the Wi-Fi FPV one, you get the one all about how to use the app, or basically the functions of how to use the app. It's Wi-Fi UFO is what it uses, which is a generic app. A lot of the manufacturers use it, and it works really well. I've done a complete video on how to use this app, and I'll put a link down in the description for you. The other thing you get is the actual instruction manual, and it's all in German on the front, and then basically you can turn it around and then go into English. It's not the best, I must admit. It explains some stuff in a very weird way. The call-outs on the transmitter are all very good, and the basics are there, but it's not very helpful. For instance, when we actually go onto headless mode, in no open mode, the aircraft took off in the direction of east and west position. If the rear of the aircraft to take off this south, a tube aircraft flying far, I mean, it just keeps going on. It's written like Shakespeare, to be perfectly honest. The translation from Chinese to English is not good. The basic flying instructions are pretty good, and it says 3D roll here. It doesn't say FUP, which is rather nice. And then it's basically just got your the basic parts and what they would actually be called if you needed any replacements. With this setup, it doesn't matter whether you put the transmitter on first of all or the quad. I'll flick the quad on first of all. And the nice thing about this, when you've put the battery in, and this battery bay area is quite big actually on this, it's easy to get the cables in and everything. Lock it all in, and you can then choose whether you have the quad on or off. You've got a little on and off switch there, which is rather nice. As you saw there, the LEDs pulse really fast, and then they go down to a slow pulse, means it's waiting to bind. Turn your transmitter on. They pulse again fast, you get a beep off the transmitter, and then we're ready to finally bind. Up and down, and then the LED here stops flashing, and we're all bound, ready to go. To calibrate it, make sure you're on a level surface, and make sure you don't move it while it's calibrating. Pull both the sticks down to bottom right, you get flashing LEDs, and then you're calibrated on the gyros. I'm just going to move that slightly over there and show you what happens when you lose signal. So you're merrily flying around enjoying yourself, and something happens that you lose signal, or alternatively the transmitter goes off for some unknown reason. So basically a transmitter error. When I do that, it keeps flying, but we do get flashing, pulsing LEDs. If you run towards it and then get your transmitter back on, it will kill the motors, which is quite handy actually. But basically you're going to get a flyaway is what I'm trying to tell you, and it's a real shame. Though at this stage, if it's still tumbling out of the sky, if you could be quick enough to get that up and down, you'd be back in control again. Sometimes you get motors like that are sticky. I've had it loads of times. It will fly okay once it actually gets up and you get it some decent power, but just sometimes on a very gentle tick over, you'll only get the 2, then the 4, then off it go. It'll sort itself out. This flies really nice, not had any problems with it at all. Running through the functions on the transmitter, you've got the lights on and off here, and this is also your return to home button. These 2 buttons are dead. This one is your video if you've got the camera that stores on the quad itself, so you don't have the Wi-Fi, because on the Wi-Fi system it stores it on the phone. You have a micro SD card on the one that is just a camera. So you would activate your video and your stills with this one. These ones are trim buttons for your direction controller here, and it is a mode 2 throttle. It's not altitude hold either, as you can tell, because the throttle isn't centered. I won't lift it up because it's obviously going to start up. Onto the top rocker buttons, this one here changes the rates. It starts in low rates, press it, beep beep into second rates, beep beep into high rates, third rates, press it again, it comes around into low rates. Always starts in low rates, so if you had a lost signal, regained the signal, it would be back in low rates. This is the one for flipping, so you press that and you choose what direction, forward flip, right flip, etc. It won't do anything because the motors aren't going and it's not up in the air. And the only other thing is headless mode, and to go into headless mode you simply press this one, and then the LEDs keep pulsing, and then you're in headless mode. When you want to come out of headless mode, you simply press that again.
Nice. Let me bring it in nice and close so you can actually see it a bit better. There we go. There we go. So not too bad. A little bit more power all the way around. Flies beautifully. Really very smooth.
But I actually enjoyed third rates. The yaw was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, it's quite good actually. Whee. Yes, I did it.